The Edge of Balance came out yesterday, the first manga story set in the High Republic era of Star Wars. Written by Shima Shinya and Justina Ireland with art by Mizuki Sakakibara, it's also my first Star Wars manga. I know there have been adaptations of stories like Lost Stars and Leia Princess of Alderaan, but I've only flipped through them. I've already read those stories, so I didn't make the time to read them again. Kinda like anime, my experience with manga is pretty limited, but I've gotta say, I really like the style. I'm not surprised after seeing the Visions trailer and how much I enjoyed those visuals. It's no secret Star Wars was heavily inspired by samurai tales, so the aesthetic just makes sense. There's something especially cool about seeing the Jedi of the High Republic era with all their extra flash and pizzazz rendered in this art style. Sakakibara's artwork is really nice. The story is focused on a Jedi Knight named Lily. She, her former master, her Padawan, and a couple younglings are assigned to a small planet called Banshee, where they're relocating refugee farmers who lost their homes in the Great Hyperspace Disaster. It's not long before they're attacked by the Drengir, but here's where it gets interesting. The Drengir are different and mutated somehow. They look different, and their attacks on the settlers leave them transformed into basically wooden husks. I don't know if they evolve or change over time, or if maybe they take on the properties of the planet on which they grow. We've already seen that they have some similarities to the aliens from the Alien franchise. This could be another connection. Whatever the reason, it was a fun and unexpected mystery that I liked. In fact, I think this is the most effective the Drengir have been in a High Republic story so far. More monstrous, more terrifying, the wooden settlers are chilling. Again, Sakakibara's art goes a long way here. The first volume is just under 150 pages. It took me about an hour to read it, so it's not that long, but it was still enjoyable to have some comic-style content that took a little more investment. I've gotten so used to reading comics issue to issue, it's nice to have a more fully formed story to look at and appreciate all at once. I can understand why people like to wait for trade paperbacks to read entire comic arcs. The only criticism I can think of is that the manga doesn't tell us a whole lot more about the overarching story of the High Republic. Not that every High Republic story has to have a major development to the era, but so far my favorites of the series have balanced character stories with the larger plot. I really like the Drengir mutation, and it's possible that'll be important in the future, but the Marvel High Republic comics recently dealt with the Drengir. But it is cool to get a little more insight into the Nile and how they worked to spread the Drengir around the galaxy as a distraction for the Jedi. I guess when I look at the Edge of Balance, it feels very much like it stands on its own, which is good. I really enjoyed reading it, but my personal favorite part about reading the High Republic is the more serialized storytelling. Kinda like listening to Tempest Runner, I have a feeling that as the High Republic continues on, this one criticism is going to fade away, and I'll more clearly see how the Edge of Balance fits in. Lily will probably show up in other stories, maybe the Drengir mutations will be able to live without the Great Progenitor. I'm definitely curious about people being turned into wood. Any and every one of those plot points could play into the larger story. If you're a manga fan or a High Republic completionist, I think you'll be very happy picking this up. If you've been more focused on just reading the High Republic novels, for example, I don't think you'll be confused or anything if you don't read the manga. But one more thing I do want to mention is that I love how much variety we're getting in this era of storytelling. Wave 1 of the High Republic was books and comics, and that was it. Wave 2 is already introducing even more kinds of stories to appeal to more and more fans. Like I said earlier, I'm not a manga fan by any stretch, but I still dug it, and I know there are going to be manga fans who might get into the High Republic because of the Edge of Balance, and I love that. More variety is always a good thing in my opinion. But let me know what you thought of the Edge of Balance Volume 1 in the comments. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel to keep up with all our High Republic coverage, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and consider checking out our Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.